If you're thinking about moving to Boston, Massachusetts, and you're wondering where to live to best suit your lifestyle, things you like to do, and importantly, what you can afford, well, stay tuned. What's up, everybody? My name is Rui A Coelho with eXp Realty in the greater Boston area. If this is the first time on the channel and you want to know everything about working, eating, playing, sleeping, the cost of living, the best neighborhoods about Boston and the greater Boston area, make sure you tickle that subscribe button. That's right, tickle. Don't just tap. Hit it lightly. You don't want to break your phones. And stay tuned for upcoming videos. Honestly, we get so many phone calls in about relocating, upgrading, downgrading to Boston and the greater Boston area, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about making a move, relocating, or just, coming here to visit, feel free to text me, call me, email me. I'm the ones answering the phone calls right now. So, but you got to reach out. However you want to do it, we're here for you. We got your back. Now, today's video is going to be full of facts from you today that I'm going to be pulling out from niche.com. If you've never heard of niche.com, it's a great place to find out about communities, their education, their population density, and whatnot. So I'm going to have a link in the description below for you to check it out. But I just want to let you know that's where I'm getting my information from. On a side note, I wanted to excuse my dressed down look today. My 2-year-old's daycare has a virus scare, the virus that shall not be named. So he's got to be home for the next week and a half or so. We're going to be testing him in the next couple days. I'm vaccinated, my wife's vaccinated, she's a school teacher, so we don't think there's going to be any issues, but I want to make sure that I'm still producing videos for you guys. Now, the first neighborhood I want to throw at you is rated #1 on niche.com, and it's the Longwood medical area. The population is about 6,000 in Longwood, and the feel that you're going to get for the neighborhood is mostly an urban feel. But you see little bars, restaurants, coffee shops, parks, kind of like your everyday city feel. You can probably guess that the Longwood medical area is going to have some hospitals in them. And they have some of the best hospitals, I think, in the planet. They have Boston Children's Hospitals, Beth Israel Deaconess, and one of the better ones, Brigham and Women's Hospital. And on top of that, they have some great colleges. You're surrounded by other things to do. You have Fenway Park right around the corner, the Museum of Fine Arts of Boston, and tons of parks. Now, I bet you're thinking it's going to be pretty expensive to live here, especially because of all the hospitals and the colleges and all the amenities you get around. Well, actually, it's pretty reasonable compared to the other neighborhoods in Boston, $375,000, whereas the national median price is about $217,000. If you're looking to rent, you're going to be about $2,000 a month, give or take a few. The price of homes are fairly good for the area, but the issue you're going to have is a majority of the people that live there are renting. So they're going to be students, they're going to be local physicians. So finding a home that's going to be available to buy is going to be fairly rare. About 95% of the residents in the Longwood area are renting. That's a staggering number compared to the rest of Boston. And according to niche.com, it has rated #1 for the best neighborhood to live in Boston, #3 best neighborhoods to raise a family, and it rated 16 for best neighborhoods for young professionals to live in. Now, the median household income for the area is roughly $55,000, where the national average is actually a little bit higher there at about $65,000. Now, #2 on the list is the Leather District. The Leather District is located just south of the Financial District and a little bit west of Chinatown. Population for the Leather District is roughly about 1,200, and you're really going to get that tight urban feel because you're right in the heart of Boston, right in the center location. What's great about it is you have Route 93 and Route 90 very close. If you need to be able to get out of the city quickly, you have 2 options there. But if you like to stay in the city, take advantage of what you get. There's a lot of nightlife around. If you want to go out to the parks, there's the Boston Common and the Public Gardens right around the corner. If you like history, it's got the Boston Tea Party Museum and the ships you can visit. You can actually visit the ships and go on the ships and learn about them as well. You have the Children's Museum right across the water there, the aquariums there. It's a great central location, especially if you're going to be working in the financial district. It's right there. Now it's quite a bit more expensive than our first location at about $793,000. Renting, if you're looking to rent, you're going to be looking at about $300,000. But the good thing about that is more people actually owns their home in the leather district, a little bit more than half. So you're going to have a better shot of being able to find a place there. Now for the niche ratings, number 2 for best places to live in Boston, number 5 best places for a young professional, and number 8 best places in Boston to raise a family. The median household income for the leather district is about $155,000, and that's what it makes sense that you have the financial district right there. You know, it's possible that a lot of the people that are employed there are going to want to stick closer to the companies that they work to, you know, and they're just going to fall out to the places that kind of make more sense for them. All right, the next neighborhood I want to cover in Boston is called Allston. Allston has a population of roughly 35,000 people, and it's going to give you more of that urban feel closer to the Longwood area versus our second in line, the leather district. It's not as tight. Now Allston has some of the best restaurants around, whether you're looking for Italian, seafood, burgers, Asian. They have a great hot pot place. They have a ton of variety. The best thing about Boston is you're going to get a bunch of different cuisines from around the world, and a bunch of combinations on top of that too. So definitely a great place if you if you're into a food like me. Another great thing about Allston is like I said, it's on the north side of town. So on the map you can see that it's right next to Watertown, right next to Cambridge. You kind of zoom through those towns. If you need to get onto Route 2 to get west, and you don't want to take the Pike, you don't want to pay the toll on the Pike. Up Route 2 you have Belmont, Lexington, Concord, my hometown right now, which is Acton, and it just keeps on going. And then good thing about those other towns, those Acton, Lexington, Concord, is the history of it. We'll get into that in another video once I get into those towns, but what I'm saying is it's a great way to avoid traffic if you want to be in the city, but you don't want to deal with that bumper to bumper congestion. Now, what does it cost to buy a home in Allston? The median home sale price is about $550,000, and again, that's compared to the national median price of $217,000. The rent is going to be roughly the same as the Longwood area at about $2,000. There are a little bit more renters in Allston than homeowners, but you're going to see that a lot more in the city anyways. With the duplex and triplexes there, you're going to see a lot more renters. Now getting to the top 3 rankings, Allston is number 2, best neighborhoods to raise a family in Boston. Number 3 in best neighborhood overall in Boston. And number 8, best neighborhood for young professionals to live in. Now the median household income for Allston is just above the national average at $63,000. And just like the first two, Allston has some great schools. A lot of them do actually share the same school systems, but Allston has 6 out of 66 that are A rating or above on niche.com. Now the fourth and final neighborhood in Boston I want to cover for today is Fenway. We touched on it a little bit on our number 1 on Longwood, the Longwood area. Fenway is just north of Longwood, and it's a great little spot. It has roughly about 33,000 people living there now. Most of them are renters, and what I like about Fenway the most is the accessibility of it. You got Sterl Drive coming right through it. They have Boston University there. Northeastern University is there. Obviously, they have Fenway Park. So if you like, obviously, baseball games, the Red Sox. If you like music, they do a lot of concerts there. There are a ton of bars, a ton of nightlife. But if you're not into nightlife and you want a little bit more, if you like parks and stuff like that more, well, they do have the James P. Kelleher Rose Garden for you to walk through. They have the Museum of Fine Arts, and then also the Veteran Memorial Park as well. Now, what is it going to take to live there? How much is it going to cost? So, a medium home value for Fenway right now is about $540,000. New England in general is going to be a little bit more than the national average, especially in a dense city like Boston. It's not uncommon to see them twice the amount. I mentioned before there are a lot of renters there. So if you're thinking about renting, again, it's going to be comparable to the other areas at about $1,800 to $2,000 for a rental, and that's probably for a 1 to 2 bedroom. The median household income for Fenway is actually going to be the lowest out of the 4 right now, and that's about $35,000. And I thought a little bit about this, and I think what makes the most sense is a lot of people that live in this area are students. They may be artists, singers, entrepreneurs that are trying to get on their own, do their own thing, and obviously they're doing a lot of work now to be able to get paid for it later on, so their income right now is not going to be the greatest. Now, as for the niche ratings, the top 3 ratings from niche are number 4, best neighborhood in Boston. Number 7, best neighborhood to raise a family in Boston. And number 13, best neighborhood for professionals. And those are some of the things I love about Austin. But if you're thinking about moving to Boston and I didn't cover an area that you thought was nice, you got to reach out to me, whether it's through phone call, email, text, pigeon carrier, however you want to do it. I got your back when moving to Boston, the greater Boston area. And until next time, we'll catch you later.